Hey, what's up guys? Coach Jameson. In today's video, we are going to be going over some pull-up modifications and some variations you can use to strengthen your pull-ups and begin to build up to doing a full body weight pull-up from a pull-up bar, or, as I have up here, this kind of rock hold. The first variation I like to do is setting up a bar. I have my jungle rack here that the bar is sitting up on. You can use a Smith machine, you can use a squat rack to rack the bar up to the correct height that you want. And what you want to be able to do is grab this bar and be able to fully hang with your butt just above the ground. And you can see now my feet are down, so this is going to assist us in our pull-up. Because one of the major things, or one of the main issues I see with people doing full pull-ups that don't really have the access or strength is they get to the top of the pull-up and their shoulders really start pulling forward into this front space. Again, we live in this world where we've been sitting since the age of 4, so everything is pulling forward, especially at the top, shoulders round, heads pulling forward. So when we get to the top of our pull-up, instead of really pulling from the back, we start pulling into this front space because we lack the strength back here, amongst other things. We're not going to get deep into that. I'm just going to show you a couple variations to start strengthening this with some good, correct posture and form. So you're going to grab your bar right about shoulder width. Feet, even though we're working the upper body, we're still going to be mindful of the feet, that they're straight. We're maintaining our arches. I'm going to even think of slightly ripping them apart just to keep the bottom half nice and strong. I'm going to grab the bar, nice strong grip. Even being mindful of the grip when you grab the bar, don't just grab it with the thumb side. Think of wrapping that pinky over first so we get a nice strong grip. And then from here, I'm going to think of keeping my butt back. So as I pull up, I don't want my hips to come forward and up. I want them to stay below my hands. So again, I'm trying my best to mimic a pull-up. From here, I'm just going to slowly pull up to the bar. I want to think of pulling my sternum up, and again, keeping these shoulders pulling back. And those are our reps. We're just going to pull up and down. You can go nice and slow, controlled. Again, use the feet and legs as much or as little as you need. And you can do a bunch of reps here for time. We can get to the top. If this is your struggle point, really focus on holding, and we can do little isometrics here at the top, slow negatives. Again, we can play with all the same variations we'd play with a full body weight pull-up on a regular bar with this variation. So if you want to just do, X amount of sets times X amount of reps, if you want to do some negatives, if you want to do some holds at the top, or even some holds at 90, again, really trying to feel and getting that pressure and engagement working more towards the lats and the backside of the body, as opposed to everything wanting to pull forward at the top. So that is one of our first variations, would be this kind of modified pull-up with our feet on the ground. Another variation I like to use, just again to strengthen the upper body and give us a motion of pulling our own body weight off the floor, is more of a row variation. So it's going to be a very similar setup. You can use a squat rack or a Smith machine, and this time you're going to rack the bar, and we're going to let our butt sit down, the body hang. I can maybe put this a little bit lower if I want. We just want that upper back above the ground. Again, feet are going to be down, and now we're going to be working more of a horizontal row as opposed to a vertical pull. Same thing, again, the idea is to just strengthen the upper body, get it used to pulling your own body weight through space. So I'm going to grab, again, roughly at shoulder width. The width of the hands, you can play with it. There's no absolute right or wrong way. Roughly start at shoulder width. You can go a little bit wider. You can go a little bit closer. And again, this is going to work different parts and muscles of the back. But again, that's not the important part. The important part is just getting your body used to pulling your own body weight through space. So from here, I'm going to grab the bar, butt stays down to start, and we're going to be mindful that, again, we're not in this rounded flex position, the shoulders pulling forward, the tailbone tucked. I'm going to think of getting my spine nice and extended before I even pull. Getting my feet nice and strong, maybe slightly rip the feet apart. From here, the butt's just going to hover, and then I'm going to pull my chest up towards the bar. And again, notice at the top, I want to avoid any of this. I want to avoid here. I want to just keep that spine nice and long into extension as I rep this out. The fun thing with doing these variations is, again, they're modified, but we can also make them a little bit harder. I can elevate my feet to make that row a little bit harder. I can maybe add a little bit of a weight vest once I get comfortable and maybe up to the 15, 20 rep range. Same thing with my feet on the ground. You can work that variation for a while until you feel strong at getting maybe 15, 20 reps. If you want, you can add weight. If you want, you can even start doing little holds and then pulling your feet off of the ground. So there's a couple variations you can play with to modify the pull-up. If you're unable to do a full body weight pull-up at the moment, go ahead and give them a shot. Let me know what you think.